Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, we'll be doing a review for Aquaman, The Lost Kingdom. This is a new film from DC from 2023. PG-13 as of the recording of this video. We have a Rotten Tomato score of 37% for the critics, a Letterboxd average rating of 2.7. We don't even have an audience score yet. There were no This movie did not have a premiere, did not have any screenings. I think there was like a fan event or something like that, but no official screenings. All reviews had been embargoed pretty much till the release date. Usually in the industry, that's not a good sign. Maybe DC and Warner Brothers are just, this is the last movie in their, whatever is left of the DCU, so maybe they didn't really want to bother, which seems like a shame and a disservice to the people that worked on this film. This film does have a runtime of 2 hours and 4 minutes and is directed by James Wan. Let me give you a quick synopsis, then we'll get into non-spoiler thoughts, then we'll have a larger full spoiler discussion, and I'll talk about everything from this film. So, after failing to defeat Aquaman the first time, Black Manta wields the power of the mythic Black Trident to unleash an ancient malevolent force. Hoping to end his reign of terror, Aquaman forges an unlikely alliance with his brother Orm, the former king of Atlantis. Setting aside their differences, they join forces to protect their kingdom and save the world from irreversible destruction. This film stars Jason Momoa as Arthur Curry, aka Aquaman. This also stars Patrick Wilson as King Orm, the Ocean Master. I guess that's his character in the comics. In the movies, it's more of a title, but that was taken from him when he was taken prisoner at the end of the last movie. Yahya Abdul-Mateen returns as Black Manta. Nicole Kidman returns as Queen Alana, which is really cool because you get to see. I went to AMC, so I get to see Nicole Kidman before the film, telling me how movies is a place where you go, and then she's also in the film, which is, it doesn't happen very often nowadays. We also have Randall Park. One of the new characters for this film is Dr. Stephen Shin. Tamara Morrison returns as Tom Curry, Aquaman's dad. Dolph Lundgren returns as King Nereus, and Amber Heard returns as Mira. um all right, let's go through some of the quick checkpoints. I think if you like the first movie, you're gonna enjoy this one. I don't think it's as good as the first movie, although I haven't seen the first movie in a while, so I will say there's a section in the middle where I'm not like the biggest fan of that movie, but James Wan just loves to do like a tour of genre films. Where at some points it feels like here's a little bit of a horror film because James Wan, like horror is like his other shoe. Here's a little bit of sci-fi. Here's a little bit of the superhero stuff. Here's a little bit of action or a heist. Here's a comedy because you have this really cool chemistry between Aquaman and his brother Orm, and of course Jason Momoa, very charismatic. Now I will say, if you're not a fan of Jason Momoa's antics, like, I don't know if there's a difference even now between Jason Momoa and the character of Arthur Curry. It's like it's pretty much almost the same person. At least his public persona, like, it feels like they're pretty much very very close. Even as the way Aquaman dresses outside of his duties as King of Atlantis. Um, but I also really like how the story kind of just starts to escalate a little bit, and it really builds. It takes stuff from the original, but it doesn't necessarily need you to have watched the original or even any of the other films from the DC universe, which I think it's a good service to the fans, especially some that have been maybe jaded by the last few films and really haven't been into that. This is a pretty much a standalone story that you fully understand. It's very simple, very straightforward. A new threat has come. Brothers have to work together. This is an unlikely pairing. I love an unlikely pairing, and just like I said, Patrick Wilson and Jason Momoa just have so much chemistry on screen. Patrick Wilson now MVP. I was thinking about it. Here's a quick tangent. I was thinking about it. I don't know that I can remember a movie that Patrick Wilson is in that I don't like. I'll have to go through his full filmography, maybe some stuff from that I haven't seen or whatever. But yeah, he's just a very charismatic actor. He's the straight man to Aquaman's like more goofy, shenanigans. So it really really works. It just really works. Like it's the Lethal Weapon, team up, right? So that's really really good. Um, I I already talked about how this movie also feels a little bit like a sci-fi. Like during when I was sitting at the theater, all I kept thinking was like, I think James Wan just kind of made a Star Wars film. Like it's got the camp, it's got the goofiness, it's got the really cool battles. Like it's and obviously those things aren't exclusive to Star Wars, but that was just kind of the feeling that it evoked when I was watching it. It's it's definitely got some rough edges. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that has been probably edited. I know that Amber Heard's participation has probably been toned down, but I think you still get a lot of pretty much all the characters, like everyone that I mentioned at the top. They're still a pretty big part of the story. So yeah, I don't think this movie's perfect, but I don't know that it deserves the scores that are above. Maybe once audiences get into the theater, and there's so much to watch in the theater and outside on streaming services. Right, this weekend alone, we have two big blockbusters. We have Aquaman. We also have Rebel Moon dropping a review later coming on the channel for that as well. But yeah, this film just kind of captures those like B-level sci-fi movie things, but it's also like it looks bigger, it's shinier, it's nicer. One thing James Wan continues to astonish me with also is the underwater visuals. He has completely mastered that. Um, it he doesn't polish it up, which is what I think really works. When you're underwater, things are gonna look a little blurry sometimes. Things are gonna look weird. The creature designs continue to just be amazing. We get a little bit of Topo back. If you don't know, Topo was the octopus that was playing the drums in the first movie. He gets a bigger role in this one, which is insane. So that's really really fun. I had a good time. I kind of want to go rewatch the film just to kind of get more into like different levels of what James Wan was trying to do. And also, the first time you watch a film, I feel like because you're taking in the story and everything is new, that can sometimes blind you from some of the rougher edges, some of the issues. Um, I would probably say the conflict itself, like was the and I'll get into that more when I get into spoilers, but the conflict itself was probably the like not a complaint, but just like the lowest thing in the totem pole as far as like things that I enjoyed about the film. Like it was a very straightforward story, very much like here's some comic book nonsense that doesn't matter, but it's gonna lead our characters through this. And when I say it doesn't matter, I don't think that I don't mean that it doesn't matter for the story. I just think that in the end, we know that the stakes are not really super high. So we'll get into that a little bit more with spoilers as well. But yeah, fun stuff. Completely standalone, like I mentioned. You can go right into this without having seen, without knowing anything. The movie really, really tells you everything. Has very simple exposition, but it really allows you to understand who Aquaman is, who the characters are, why Patrick Wilson and Aquaman have this relationship, and the bond. Really great performances by Nicole Kidman, Tamora Morrison. Randall Park really shines. Like he plays the characters that he normally plays. If you like his character in the MCU, you're probably gonna enjoy this character because it's very similar in some aspects, but it's still Randall Park, like doing cool stuff. And Dolph Lundgren and Amber Heard as King Neros and Mera respectively. They don't have the biggest roles. They're kind of there to kind of help move the story along. So yeah, uh, it's really fun visually. I think it looks fantastic. Um, it's not too long. Like the pacing is good. Like you kind of get the first part of it, like the first 30 minutes, I say, maybe are a little bit slowly paced because it is feeding you a lot of information that you need for the story going forward. But once it gets and it clicks into place, like we just kind of get going, and it's really really fun. So yeah, I need to rewatch the first one, and I think I need to rewatch this as well. So um, if you have seen this film, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reaction, movie reviews, watch alongs, commentaries, reactions, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone.